Okay, so we're walking around Market Street in Westchester, and we're listening for the laughter, for the cries of the spirit of John Tully. Now, John Tully, back in 1788, he was someone that came into town and he would look for some odd jobs. And he got accused of stealing horses. So the judge sentenced him to several days in prison. And then, let's cross the street here. A public lashing, which was not quite as common apparently in this area back in 1788. And they took him out to the town square on a Saturday, and they gave him some lashings, and they cut off his ears and pinned them to the, what do you call that?
Well, they said pinned him to the post.
To
so
the
evidently
post.
the post he was tied to, they cut off his ears and pinned him to the post.
So this guy was, after the lashing with his ears being cut off, he was in some excruciating pain. So legend has it that they took him back to prison, and he was just screaming in such agony that the other inmates were complaining. So they took him across the street, somewhere on the grounds of where the Lincoln Building now stands.
Right. Evidently the jail was here, where this building is that we're standing in front of.
Right here,
This was where the jail
Chester
was.
County Courthouse.
Yeah. Yep.
So they took him into a little cottage over there where he would be by himself. And it was said that his screams were echoing through these streets. All night people could hear him. And late into the night, the screams mysteriously became laughter. And they were wondering why this guy who had just been lashed, whose ears were cut off, who was in this extreme pain, was laughing. A crazy, mad laugh. Well, as soon as the sun came up, the laughing and the screams stopped. And the sheriff sent the deputy over to go check on him. And when the deputy came over across the street here to check on John Tully, turned out he was dead. The deputy poked him, he didn't move. Not only was he dead, but rigor mortis set in. So that means he had been dead for hours. So these screams, this laughter, this was occurring after John Tully had died. And to this day, this laughter, these cries, this scream can be heard through these streets. Let's go take a closer look at the Lincoln Building over there. So why do they call this the Lincoln Building? Well, this was where Abraham Lincoln's first autobiography was published.
First biography. Yeah.
First biography.
It was printed in this building on February 11th, 1860. It was prepared from Lincoln's own notes and served to introduce him to the public as a potential presidential candidate.
Ah, so it wasn't his autobiography, it was his biography.
Right.
But nonetheless,
created it himself.
Nonetheless, it was published right here in this building.
Yep. So it is called the Lincoln Building. You can see they call it the Lincoln Room down in the basement or down at the lower level.
Yeah.
It also serves as the current Chester County Community Foundation.
So I guess back then, this was kind of an open field? No. Yeah. This building was not here yet. And they actually said that when the sheriff heard this, he heard that John Tully had been dead for hours and his laughter and cries were still being heard after his death. He said, immediately bury him. So John Tully is buried right here under the Lincoln Building. Now with all the traffic, I mean, it's not EVP appropriate by any means, but if this laughter is as loud as they say, if these screams are as loud as they say, perhaps we can hear them just here on the streets. Now I gotta say, in a place like this, where there's so much activity, even at the stroke of midnight where we are, I wonder how many times these screams or this laughter can be heard and
Yeah.
people just chalk it up to being pedestrians.
Yeah, somebody on a nearby street.
Yeah. Because there's like a college crowd. It seems like it's a college town.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me.
It is. I think it's Westchester University, like you said before, is located here. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of college kids that are walking up and down the streets, even at this late hour.
So the thing is, it's kind of like I always say, where you if a spirit was standing right there in front of you and you took a picture, people would be like, oh, that's doctored, that's fake.
Right.
Even right now, if we heard these screams and this laughter, people could say, oh, that's probably college kids walking down the street or
Right.
someone
right.
on a neighboring street. And really, yeah, there's no way you would know.
Yeah,
But it's cool to think,
it is.
right?
It definitely is.
And if we heard it, I would definitely question it. That's for sure. That's college kids.
Yeah, that is college kids.
And the night is definitely appropriate for a ghost story.
It
It
is.
really is. The ambience here in the fog-covered streets in this building, it's a perfect setting for a building of this age. And there we have, oh, is that John Tully?
I don't think so.
See, but we wouldn't know. Is there anybody down there? I don't
Yeah.
see anybody.
No, but I
Oh!
think that might be the stroke of midnight. I don't have my phone.
Okay. Yeah, it's
okay.
12:03.
But that gives rise to another story.
Yes, the mysterious bells.
Yes, in the clock tower. They say they have a haunted clock tower here in Westchester. For some reason, on occasion, these bells will toll for absolutely no reason. By themselves, they just go off. So, not sure exactly what that's about. It could be some electrical problem because it's probably a system that's made to ring the bell at certain times. I'm sure there's nobody up there ringing it right now. But
Right, like Quasimodo's not there, like...
yeah, but they
Yeah.
do say that it's suspected that it is a haunted clock tower, and that's the reason why it rings like that. And you never know. It's so close. It could be John Tully up there ringing the bell himself, letting you know that he's here.
That could be. That could be. It was interesting that we heard that right after that scream.
I know.
You know? Hey, that scream could have been perfectly normal. Yes. Right? There are people walking down there now.
Yeah, that seems like a busy street corner down there.
Right? But those bells were actually coming from this church, I believe. Or is that church? Is that the courthouse?
I'm not exactly sure.
Maybe we should walk across and get a closer look. Just walking across, because if this is not a church... No, this is the district court.
It is the district court.
So, was this the same court that we read that story? See, it is
yeah,
connected.
It is connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this actually is
The court where the mysterious bells
where the
ring.
mysterious bell
Did we
rings.
just catch the mysterious bells?
I don't think so because it's probably made to go off at midnight. If it wasn't exactly midnight, I would say that would have been really odd.
It wasn't though, it was 12:03. The bells are a little late.
I don't know, but there's animals in the windows. You see that?
Ooh, yeah.
Like taxidermy and stuff?
That's creepy. And they have a nativity set out here in front of the courthouse, which is pretty cool.
They do.
Perhaps that's the
There's
front of
the
the...
court
Ooh,
tower.
there it is. Let's walk around the front side and get a good look at this.
Okay.
I love their decor out here, though.
Yeah. Some sort of memorial.
To honor all disabled military veterans of Chester County. Another angle of the courthouse. Who is that a statue of?
I don't know.
Well, I think it's worth inquiring.
It says Old Glory. It's etched on the concrete.
Old Glory, erected by the County of Chester. Quite a Christmas tree they have out in front here too,
Yeah.
huh?
And this does look like a church. It looks like a Jewish synagogue, I guess it would be.
Yeah, but it's not a church, right? Isn't this all part of the courthouse?
It is part of the courthouse, but they do have this giant menorah out here.
Yes, they
So-
do. But one thing I've noticed is they also have like the nativity set around the front. So it's almost like they kind of took everyone into consideration here.
That very well could be, because they do have some pretty awesome Christmas decorations out here.
There's that tower.
Yeah, it's way up
Is that John Tully?
there. No, that's just college kids. Neat place, though.
It really is.
Yeah, very imposing, like, very large building. But they did say that not only was the jail located on this section of the street here, but also the whipping post. The post that he was tied to and whipped at and his ears cut off and pinned to was also located on this property. So it could very well be that this whole building that we're looking at here, that includes the courthouse, it could take up that whole property. I mean, the site of the old whipping post could be on this property as well as the jail.
Wow. Yeah, that's something to consider.
So, who knows? I mean, it makes sense. Maybe John Tully's up there screwing around with a bell.
He could be. He could be. But they did mention that the bell does ring.
Yes, randomly, at random
Randomly.
times. Yeah.
And that's something we'd have to verify, because I wonder where they get that the bell rings randomly. Like who knows what it's set to?
Yeah.
The time that it's set to.
And they haven't actually said why it would ring, or at what times it rings, but if they made it sound as if, the people in the local area know what times this thing's supposed to ring, and it rings outside of those normal times.
I have to say, I don't know what this is, but this is kind of creepy.
It really looks like an old water fountain, baby.
Like, I could picture this face starting to talk to me right now.
It says AD 1869.
1869.
Yeah.
Huh. There's another historical marker up here, though, that we noticed. And we're going to go ahead and see what that says. Okay, so just a Chester County marker.
Yeah.
One of Pennsylvania's 3 original counties, formed 1682 by William Penn, name derived from Cheshire in England, Westchester. The county seat since 1788 was incorporated in 1799.
The county was the scene of important military activities in 1777 and 1778.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cool. Definitely a neat little town. This
It is.
downtown area, they have it very nicely decorated with poles, the street lights, wrapped in the garland and the lights for Christmas, and
Yeah.
just a very cool, kind of quaint little town.
And that tree is pretty amazing, I have to say. I
It
can't get over
is.
that tree.
Yeah. Yeah, very neat.
And I gotta say, I think it's neat that the county courthouse will put a nativity scene out in front of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't see that too often.
No, a lot of times they'll steer away from that.
Yeah.
But walking around the corner here, one more time, listening for the screams of John Tully.
There's so much ambient noise out here, I don't know how you can hear anything
There is.
besides college kids screaming.
Yeah. John Tully? Nah.
I think if John Tully was here, he would be over there checking out my new car.
He might. He might be checking out the Mustang over here.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he was known to have stolen a horse.
Oh, yeah. And that's a Mustang.
It's a Mustang.
So John Tully might be over there trying to break into the car right now.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, he would want to steal my Mustang if he saw the horse on the grill.
That's
Or
quite
on
possible.
the back of it, he would say, "Hey,
It's quite possible.
let me steal this horse."
Yeah.
But judging from what it got him the first time, like this excessive punishment,
Maybe he learned his lesson.
yeah, it could
Yeah.
be. Might be staying far away from it.
I wonder
but
if he was guilty.
I'm sure he probably was guilty of the crime, but I mean, that was such an excessive punishment for that, even for that day,
Right.
for stealing a horse. I don't know. It's a shame that he was treated so unfairly.
Yeah. Ooh, there's laughter. Is that John Tully laughing?
No, those are those people up there.
Well, no definite John Tully sounds tonight.
No.
But it was pretty cool to hear the bells go off, being
Yes.
that it was somewhat connected with the story. They did say they go off at random.
Yeah.
I don't know what they define as random. You know,
Right.
I don't know how they verified that, but it was pretty cool to hear that. And like I said, it is the night for ghosts.
Yeah.
Nice, misty, foggy night.
Now, I would say that this supposedly all took place in mid-June, correct?
Yeah.
In June, all of the college kids are gone for
Right.
the summer, correct? I mean, it'd probably be a lot quieter on the streets. So I would think that you would have the most luck in hearing his laughter or his screaming around that time period. On
Right.
the anniversary of his death, when it's a little bit quieter in the area,
Yeah.
I would think that you might try coming out here and listening for it then.
Without all the cars and stuff, perhaps too, would be
Yeah.
good. But definitely a place to come back to. Absolutely.
Definitely.
This, I don't really consider this an investigation by any means. Like an investigation would go into with equipment and everything else. Things like this, I just like to come out to.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
like
to
we have
check
the
it out.
tunnels and these urban legends, stuff like that. I'm not coming out to do a full-on investigation. I just want to come out and see if I can experience what these people experience.
Right, and especially given the time period, knowing that Christmas was a time when they used to tell ghost stories.
Yeah.
You know, it's fitting that we should come out to a place like this and tell you guys a nice little ghost story, something that you may not have heard of.
Exactly right. And the veil is thin.
It is.
The veil is thin.
veil is
It's
thin.
almost New Year's. Yep.
Right.
So, I don't know. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The legend of John Tully in Westchester, Pennsylvania.